So whether you're considering homeschooling, just got started, or you've been at this for years and you're a homeschool veteran, you may be wondering, what are my options? Or you may have been asked, what's your homeschooling style? And you're wondering what that is? Well, I'm going to explain the basics behind the 8 most common homeschooling styles, because once you know your style, you're going to be able to have such an easier time picking your curriculum or lack thereof. You're going to have some peace of mind, and you will be off to the right start with finding your people. Ready? Let's go. So number 1, you could do school at home, and that basically is just doing regular public school, traditional school at your own home. And so it has a similar schedule, a lot of big box curriculums, so all-in-one curriculums, and a lot of times it just looks like actually utilizing public school resources or private school resources even, and virtual schooling at home. Now, a lot of people don't actually consider this homeschooling, because when you think of homeschooling, it is actually not just because you are home and learning, but because you are choosing a different path to education and viewing education in a slightly different way. So the rest of these outlined, the rest of the 7 are a little bit more homeschooly. Number 2, classical homeschooling. Now this is a very popular method, something that's been used for years, and it has been well tested, and it focuses on studying great books, literature, and things like that. So in your early education, you're going to focus on facts and data. In your middle years, you'll learn a lot of logic and critical thinking. And then when you get to high school, you start focusing on your self-expression and rhetoric. Now, a couple key things to note about classical: a lot of times there is a heavy Bible emphasis. Not all the time, I'm sure you could pick and choose, but there is a heavy Bible emphasis. And then also, when you study a subject, you usually go historically. Typically, there are a lot of Socratic dialogues, trying to understand yourself and your place in the world. If you want to focus on classical homeschool, you might want your kids to be well-read and be able to have good critical thinking skills, have lots of languages under their belt, be able to speak a couple languages possibly, and have good logic skills. Number 3, Charlotte Mason. Now this is something that is extremely popular. Shout out which homeschooling style you prefer down in the comments below. I would love to get kind of a poll or a tally going just to see what everyone's preferences are, because I learn from different people that have different preferences, and I just love hearing it from everyone, so let me know. But Charlotte Mason, super popular. It is something that focuses highly on short periods of learning. So if you're in the little years, you're in like the 15 to 25 minutes at a time, versus the high school years or the higher learning, it's 45 minutes at a time. It is extremely nature-based. There is a lot of focus on reading and literature, the classics and biographies, and a lot of it is student-led learning. A lot of it is making sure that the kids get to learn through life experiences and things like that. It is very flexible and reasonable on the budget. Now, it does combine a lot of different ideas that is pulled from other learning styles. So for example, there are a lot of nature walks, journaling. You do not have to have a lot of teacher expertise necessarily. And Charlotte Mason has been around for over 100 years. And so it is well tested, if you will. And it is historically Christian in the beliefs, and it's kind of woven throughout a lot of the curriculum. And so that is something to know as well if that is important to you. And so that is Charlotte Mason. Now, before we move on to the next 5, let me just introduce myself. I don't think I did at the beginning this time. My name is Jordan. I am a Disney homeschooling mom. Welcome, pal. Welcome back to the most magical homeschool on earth. I work at home so that I can make my dream of being home with my kids a reality, so that we can learn and grow and explore on our everyday adventures, both at home and in our neighborhood or at Disney World. So I think learning should be fun, and here on this platform and all my other platforms, I do my best to give you the tools, resources, and encouragement to help you live that intentional life that you want with your kids too. So consider subscribing, give this video a like, and let's move on to our next number 4, and that is Montessori. Now, if you actually want to be a Montessori school, you have to actually be certified. This is something that a lot of people use the term Montessori, and it's very popular nowadays. And so it's used a lot. However, if you actually want to go full in and be Montessori, you have to be certified. And I do not know of any homeschool that is full. I mean, if you are, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to know. But I don't know of any that follow it strict enough to be considered Montessori. But I will include it nonetheless because it is so popular in the learning space. Basically, it focuses on free movement through the class, multi-grade level classes. You're going to do a lot of unstructured time blocks. You do life-like activities, basic life skills type activities to learn, things like that. You're going to be learning using manipulatives a lot. I'm sure people are selling you items that are labeled Montessori themed or inspired items, and I don't have a lot in my home, but I think they're wonderful and beautiful. And that's all I have for you on Montessori because it's not typical in the homeschool space. So moving on. Number 5, this one's a big one, unschooling. Now, there are so many definitions of this, and if you ask anyone who considers himself an unschooler, they might describe it differently. And this can be done so many different ways, hence the name unschooling, and it is very individualistic towards the individual that is learning. It is a passion-based learning. You learn about what you're interested in, when you were interested in it. From my understanding, it's a very flexible, free-form type learning. Words you might hear are, it is adaptable, it is unconventional, you learn as you go and you adapt to what you enjoy or what your kid enjoys. And so you are basically the facilitators of their learning. If they want to learn how a bat communicates using echolocation, you can give them the resources or let them learn through an experience at a bat house, for example, or if they want to be a doctor, you will help them get to where they want to be. Basically, whatever they're interested in, you help them learn it. And in doing so, you learn the basics like the reading and the math and the things like that. Of course, those are hopefully included as well. And I am not a full-on unschooler, even though I love aspects of each of these principles. We'll get to my style probably towards the end, but I'm not a full-on unschooler, so I want you to seek out people who consider themselves unschoolers and then compile everyone's answer and see if you can write it down in like 3 sentences and then let me know. Number 6, unit studies. I absolutely love unit studies. Unit studies are my favorite, I think. Or at least one of my favorites. I love going to Disney World. I love a good theme. You know your girl does. So if you've been around on this channel for a while, you'll notice that I have a few other videos about how we do unit studies. I'm considering putting some of the ones that I've made for my preschooler on my Etsy shop. Let me know if you want me to down in the comments. But back to unit studies. So unit studies are super fun because you actually get to incorporate different subjects like math, science, history, language arts, like everything that you incorporate or consider learning, you can include it in the theme. So you read books on farming, or you do math that you would learn about on a farm. You do history of farms, you do just about everything you can include in a unit study. It makes it more fun, it makes it all connected, it makes it more memorable for students or kids. I say students. I'm also an online teacher, so students are also a thing. So anyways, our kids, we get to make it more memorable for them, and it's something that they can take with them for years to come, and it's only for a short period of time. So if you love a good unit, you can make it longer or shorter, and it's great. I love unit studies. Number 7, eclectic. Now this is probably what I would think most homeschooling families are. It is definitely what we are, and that is a homeschooling style that basically picks and chooses from all the other homeschooling styles. Whatever your family needs, whatever your individual child needs, in the season that you're in the subject matter that they are studying, in whatever the case may be. You pick and choose. It's very flexible because basically I've heard it said that you have a buffet of curriculum options instead of one specific meal plan that you must follow. We love being eclectic. Number 8 is Waldorf, and that is a homeschooling or learning style in general. It's not just for homeschool, kind of like Montessori, but it is something that focuses on the whole child. So you incorporate a lot of the arts, a lot of movement, a lot of life skills into your academics and incorporating it all together. There is not a lot of teaching in the little years. That is mostly when they are doing imitation type of learning, and then when they get to the middle years is more of imagination and things like that, and then when they get to the older years they focus on discernment. So all of these homeschooling styles have big, wonderful merits. Most of them have been around for quite some time, and I don't want to tell you which style is right for you because every single person, every kid, every family has different needs, has different inclinations, and so I just hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, give it a like, and let me know down in the comments what you think your family style would be. Just know that you don't have to pick one style. Of course you can be eclectic, but even so, like, you don't even have to call yourself eclectic. You could do whatever you need to be intentional and invest in your kids the way that you are called to do so. So what has been helpful to me when learning about what curriculum I might want to purchase in the future, things like that, having a homeschool style, or at least an idea of what my family's homeschooling style is in this season, it might change, in this season, it's been helpful to me. So hopefully it's been helpful to you. Go ahead and give it a like. Check out where else you can find me if you want to connect with me more on an individual basis, more on a day-to-day basis, see how we do homeschool more day-to-day. You can check me out in the other platforms here, or you can always leave a comment down below. I answer all my comments, of course. I just want to build community that supports and encourages each other. So with that being said, so long for now, pal. I'll see you next time.